I served in two branches. Initially, I served as uh, I was a midshipman at the United States Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point. So while I was there getting my training, I had to go to sea. So I served on a cruise, as we call it, that started in 1942 and ended in 1943 on a trip to the Persian Gulf on a ship loaded with ammunition and other supplies for the Russians because at that time we were losing so many ships um, due to torpedo attacks on the road through the North Atlantic. They shifted us to the Pacific. So that was my first time aboard ship and I was down in the engine room. I was an engineering student. So then when I came back, and after I graduated from Kings Point in December of '43, and after talking with all of my classmates who had been coming back from sea, I was hearing things that the public did not know about because it was a secret as to how many ships we were losing. And so I lost 142 of my classmates were killed by torpedo or air attacks in training in World War II. And I heard from all those fellows coming back, and that time I said to myself, hey, a merchant ship is the target, and I don't want to be the target, so I'm going to, when I graduate, I accepted my commission in the Navy. So I went in the Navy because I thought I had a better chance of surviving the war in the Navy than I did on a merchant ship that might get hit with a torpedo by a German sub.
Morehead City wasn't much of a city at that time, but since the war it's expanded and places have grown up and shopping centers. I lived on Atlantic Beach for 20 years, and of course the Army was stationed in Atlantic Beach, and it was stationed outside of Morehead, and all these people you got to know them and love them, and it just made everything different. It made you aware that you weren't the only little town around, that there were people all over the world, and some of them from foreign countries. We even had, in fact, I was dating in those days, dating an English officer that come over here, English ships, to help us with our ships that were getting bombed. I taught dancing on Monday nights and danced with the service people. And my grandmother had a boarding house. Like, she didn't have a boarding house until they come and ask her to take some people. And she used to volunteer for 2 servicemen each weekend to come have room and board free. And they'd get shipped overseas. And some of them, when they came back from overseas, they came to our house again. And they were quite different. The war really made a change in them, but it made a change in us too.